Are we recording? What's going on, guys? What was that? Anyway, Rpscapedtanks here. Just wanted to say what's up and to let you know you should like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's at Rpscapedtanks. That's it. Yeah, I always feel like it should be like a .com or something. That's that. All right. Well then, you were about to watch a video, obviously as the thumbnail and the title states, a rescape on our beta tank. These intros are not easy, especially when you're not good at it. A rescape on a 5-gallon beta tank. I will give you some backstory as you watch this video. We have a ton of stuff coming out. We just got some new fish that I've never actually kept before, but I'm super excited. They're super cute. You will see Escape on their tank in the coming weeks. So the next video is actually going to be the sorority tank update, the 1-month update. And then you'll see probably somewhere in between the week, I'm going to add in a little video of a DIY CO2. We also have a nano build coming out, a nano build. You will probably find annotations throughout the entire video as well, so you can click on those if you're curious to know what that beta sorority tank looks like. New videos out every Friday. This intro has been long enough. I hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below. I will see you in the next one. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and here is the beta tank. Now I pulled out the AR Mini that you saw before that was covered in brown algae. It was just the fact of the aqua soil was actually completely depleted. It was used, but I needed a holding tank for him for a while. We ended up moving and putting him in here from a 10-gallon tank, but he seems a lot happier because he swims around a lot more. He doesn't hide too much. An escape that I have planned is something very simple. Now the light that you see me removing right now is a Nicrew 10-inch, so it's about 10 watts. It was actually really good. I actually really liked it, but I'm going to use a different light that I will link in the description. Now because there was so much algae in this tank and it was all over the glass, even though the camera didn't pick it up, what I did was after I took out all of the soil, I used hydrogen peroxide and I wiped down the inside of the glass and the outside of the glass. And then I washed it out about 3 or 4 times with dechlorinated water. Now if you don't know why I opted to use hydrogen peroxide, it's because it'll kill all the algae, any remaining spores that are in there, and it'll save you a lot of hassle in the long run. Now moving on to the plants, I propagated all of these plants from a high-tech tank. So because this is going to be a quote-unquote low-tech tank setup, the growth is going to be a little bit different. But we're using Rotala rotundifolia green, Rotala walichi, and Rotala hatra. So it's going to be very interesting to see the transition between the high-tech setup with a high light, high CO2 to a low-tech setup that's just going to be densely planted. This actually took the better part of an hour to cut them all down to size. But thanks to movie magic, we can just snap our fingers and everything will be done. So let's do that now. Don't worry, it's just water in there. I've cleaned this multiple times, rinsed it out, so we're good. Always make sure you spray your plants so they don't dry out. We need the AR Mini. There we go. Now back to the tank. Now this is what I'm actually using for the escape. Very simple, everything you can grab off of Amazon. I will link everything in the description below. I'm only using 2 nutrition capsules because you are dealing with a smaller system and you want as many nutrients as possible for the plants, but you don't want too many for algae to thrive. So these capsules will cover the bottom perfectly fine. To spread them out, I would definitely say that you want to make sure that you put them where you're going to plant. It doesn't make sense to put them underneath soil that won't have any plants under there because it just doesn't make sense. You're going to waste it and you will set up for algae in a heartbeat. As you can see right now, I'm going to scrape all of that powder back into the position that I really want. I will say that this did not make a fun noise while I was scraping it back, so be mindful of that. So the next step we can do is adding our soil in. This is going to be the Rescape soil. It's the leftover bag that I had from the beta sorority tank. I've used it, well, now in 2 scapes, and I will say that I think I prefer the Tropica soil. I think it's more nutrient dense because there's no nutrient breakdown on the Danilo Scaper soil, but I've noticed with plant growth in both systems that are highlight, CO2, the plant growth was significantly quicker. It seemed a lot healthier in the tropic soil as opposed to the Danilo Scaper soil. Don't get me wrong, the Danilo Scaper soil is wonderful to plant in. It doesn't cloud the water, and it's a lot less as far as ammonia spikes, which is why I think that there's not as many nutrients in there. So it's also very beneficial to put those nutrient capsules underneath the soil. So this is a very simple layout, nothing too crazy, nothing too special. I'm sloping everything towards the back corner behind the lava rock because what I want to do is actually put those red plants in there because it is the highest point in the tank, and because they are not grown in CO2 or with a quote-unquote higher light, they will have a better chance of staying red. Now I prefer planting in soil that is already wet. It just seems so much easier. The plants hold a lot better and you don't get as much sticking as you would with the dry soil. That's just my personal preference, but as you can see, I'm planting the Rotala Hatra in bunches of 2 or 3 because they don't have a tendency to bend as much as I've noticed anyway with the Rotala Green and the Rotala Rotundifolia. That's why, as you can see in the upcoming clip, the Rotala Rotundifolia is being planted with 3 stems, 4 stems possibly, and they're very close together because I don't want them to bend into each other. I want them to be able to go straight up towards the light. So we'll see how it does in the coming weeks. Now we're going to plant the Rotala Reineckii. I actually love this plant. It's a beautiful red color. I don't know how it's going to perform under these conditions, so that's going to be very interesting to see. But in the higher quote-unquote tech tanks, beautifully red, there's tons of hiding places for the guppy fry. Now we're going to plant the Rotala Rotundifolia. I actually really love this plant too, but it does have a tendency to bend, so just be mindful of that when you're planting. Right now we're pretty much almost done, so let's see what we have to work with here. Just spraying these plants down. Remember, don't ever let them dry out. Cardinal rule. So here I'm just planting the AR Mini, part of the AR Mini that I propagated from this same tank. I cleaned off the algae. Now I know some people will say, you're planting the leaves in there, they're gonna die, it's not healthy for the plant. But if you've planted AR Mini before, you know this plant has a tendency to float. And I've noticed this is the one way to prevent that from happening is to let the leaves anchor down a little bit. So here are the products that I'm actually going to use to treat the water. CChem Save, CChem Stability, and API Stress-Zyme. I recently started using API Stress-Zyme, and it has made such a difference as far as tank maintenance, as far as tank cleanliness, and water quality. So I always use it at the beginning of every setup now. I guess it is imperative to mention that I am using pre-cycled media already, so we are all good. I will stay on top of the water changes, but the media is already cycled, so the filter that's going on here and the media that's going in the filter, perfectly fine. Fireball would be perfectly safe. But that's it for this one, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it. Comment down below, like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends. But I will leave you with this clip of the tank, and I'll see you in the next one.